The following review is going to be on Transformers the Movie, Studio Series 86, Perceptor. Stay tuned. Rodimusbill here, and today we're going to do a review on the Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Perceptor from the Transformers the Movie. It is number 8611. First we'll take a look at the box. There is Perceptor. 8611 Studio Series Perceptor from Transformers the Movie, Generations, Transformers. He is a deluxe class. There it is on the other side. Here's the UPC. Actually, it's on the back now. There you go. Now, they changed the packaging. They used to say the movie down here, but they moved the movie up here. And on the back, it is 20 steps. Big screen inspired. Scale, detail, something else. Battle of Autobot City. Alright, let's rip this guy open and see what Perceptor looks like. Ultra Magnus. A cursory evaluation of Decepticon capability indicates a distinct tactical deficiency. In other words, Perceptor, we're outnumbered. Rodimusbill here, and we finally got Studio Series 86 Perceptor. First, we're going to take a look at the instructions booklet. It's pretty red and black. Perceptor 86, Transformers the Movie. Basically, his glass is on his back, so they tell you how to do it properly. Gun goes in his hand. Here's the instruction booklet. Turn it around. It's basically 2 steps to make it to a tank. And you can carry his gun in tank mode or microscope mode. And that's that. Then we're going to look at the background. It is Autobot City. There it is all split out for you. We've got some explosions going on. Studio Series 8611. And we're just going to put Perceptor right there. That's pretty cool. And one thing I like about these new things now, even the box that it comes packaged in, look, it's the same design as the Studio Series. This is where he was strapped onto. His weapon was here, and then in the back you had the glass, the microscope glass. But that's pretty cool. They didn't have to print that twice, but Hasbro is doing that now. So that's pretty neat. And we'll take a look at the gun. Just a standard red gun. Some molding on it. Nothing too big. We'll stick that in here. We'll get him in a cool pose. And we'll put him on there. And there is Perceptor at Autobot City. Now, we're going to take a look at Perceptor. Let's see. First thoughts. He's pretty solid in his hand. He's not too hollow, except for this hollow piece in the back. Nice figure. I like the red, the blue. It's pretty neat. Now, let's take a look at his face. We'll just move that out of the way. He's got the yellow on the helmet, the blue eyes, the silver face, the black, and it's on a ball joint, so you can go all the way around, 360 degrees, up and down. Let's see. His arm, whoops. There you go. His arm will go 360 degrees. It'll go out like that. You've got 90 at the elbow. And the wrists don't really move, they fold in, but it's pretty cool how they painted the back of the wrist to match the microscope. And they click in. This you can move up, down. It's on a nice little ratchet like that. I guess, you know, the problem with, like, if you're going to store him in a case, it's easier to just put him like that. That way he doesn't take up too much room. That was a problem with Titan's Return. Let's see, other arm, 360 degrees. He goes out. Again, he does the 90 degrees. He's got elbow rotation. The waist does 360 degrees. He can do the full kick forward. Wow, he can do the full kick back. Whoop. He can do the split. Let's see, knee. I like how he's got that extra movable knee. That's pretty neat. And as you can see, he can bend his foot sideways. He can bend his foot in. That's all for transformation. This is pretty neat. You got an upper thigh swivel, And you have and he's got the upper thigh swivel and his feet fold in for transformation. And no ankle tiltage at all. But that is Perceptor. And you like him. Now we get a tail real close. You got the Autobot symbol. So it's actually tampographed on his chest. And then this see-through. You can see the Autobot symbol. It's got that like creamy white right there and there. These buttons do not move at all. He's got one on each side. He's got the one on top of his glass. He's got the black. Now you think that that would be the back of him, but the back of him looks a little different. But I kind of wish they would have done away with those the bolts, whatever that is. But going down the legs, you got some detailing on the thighs, on the legs. You got the tank tread right there, even though they're red. I kind of wish they would have painted them black, but let's see. And the back, he's pretty much no backpack at all, except for the part this sticks out, and he's got that gap right there. But what are you going to do? And that is Perceptor. All right, now let's do some robot comparison. Now, the first robot comparison we're going to do is Titan's Return. Now, several differences on this guy. I hated this pin. I thought for sure this guy is going to break one day. But I do like how he had the double jointed tray. But you can see the blue's a little off. The red is the same. This guy had fold out tank treads. So this is more cartoon accurate, but this they put a little more thought into it. But that is Titan's Return. And then we're going to bring in, this is the new Legacy skid since I just picked it up. I figured I'd show him off real quick. And then this is Legacy Bulkhead, the Voyager figure. I just picked these up today, and eventually there'll be reviews on them. But now, what we're going to do is we're going to bring all the guys in from the Autobot City. So, we're going to bring in Hot Rod and Cup. Here, we'll move this guy up. We'll bring Hot Rod and Cup. We're going to bring in my definitive Ultra Magnus, which is Combiner Wars. He's not really to scale, but oh well, what are you going to do? Let's see. We'll bring in Blur. And we'll bring in RC. Let's see. We're going to bring in Blaster. That's the new Legacy slash Kingdom Blaster. We're going to bring in Springer. We're going to bring in Optimus Prime. And then we're going to bring in Grimlock and Slag. So those are all the Autobot City participants. And then we'll just pause that right here. And now those guys are gone. And I thought I'd bring in Rodimus Prime, since Perceptor did spend a lot of time in Season 3 with Rodimus Prime. And I definitely wanted to bring in, again, Blaster and Eject. Because when they were fighting, that's the first time we ever got to see Blaster's cassette tapes. Was when Blaster was trying to send a signal for help to Autobot City. And I kind of like this. Blaster Perceptor. Blaster's a Voyager, but Perceptor's a Deluxe. So Blaster's a little higher. And then I do like how Rodimus towers over them, because he was the leader. But Perceptor and Hot Rod never really talk to each other, but that's, you know, they're about the same size. And so that is Perceptor, how he compares with all the Autobots at Autobot City. Now, let's transform. First, we're going to take his weapon. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to fold his hands in. Like I said before, I love how they painted the back of the hands. So it goes right in. And then we're going to turn his head around. And you're just going to fold this up. and snap that in. Kind of wish there was like on Prime. Here's Earthrise Prime where you had this, and then, you know, they could have easily put an extra piece in here and then just cover it up. Well, I think Blaster's got the same thing too. Yeah. So it wouldn't have been that much difference just to put a little piece of plastic on a hinge to hide it. But I'm not really sure why they didn't do that. But anyway, so the next we're going to do is pull these out. These are kind of like the Dotson brothers, how you pull them and tab them into the arm. And then we're just going to rotate it like that. Other side, we're going to untab these, turn this around. Now these are where he's different. What you're going to do is fold this out and then fold it up like that. And then the other side, you're going to fold this up and it's going to peg in right there. So when you fold that up like that, it's going to peg in. And there you got the microscope. And these, you've got a tab right there and it's going to peg in right here in the blue. So what you want to do is fold that in and then fold that in. Now I will say the Titan's Return Perceptor does have these a lot closer in. You'll see in a minute, but for that one, not bad. And the easiest thing for the feet to do is forward. Mine clicks to the side, rotate these to turn the toe down. Up to the side, bend it, put the toe down, and then you put the glass down. And there is Perceptor in his microscope mode. And they tell you could put the gun stores like right there on microscope mode. But that's kind of silly. So if you want, you can just stick it in the back like that. And then if you're going to store him in microscope mode. And there he is. He's a microscope. Now let's look at him in microscope mode. You've got articulation. You've got this on a ratchet, so you can move this up and down. You've got some detailing on the chest. You got the little glass tray. Basically, that's about it. You got 5mm ports here, so you can weaponize them. But this is what he looks like from all angles. Now, comparing this to the Titan's Return line, I did like how in the Titan's Return line, well, you know what? Let's just bring this out right now. Here are the two newest Perceptors. Okay, both have this. I can't stand because I was afraid I'm going to break this, but I do like how his legs clip into his arms like that, so he's more compact. These, they don't really clip into anything. See how these arms are real tight against the body. These go out a little. And there's some things on tank mode, but these are the two Perceptors. And it's actually, you could actually look through here too. You can see my finger. But these are the two latest Perceptor figures we've got. There's from the side, from the back, and then the other side. So, Titan's Return, and we have the Studio Series Perceptor. And I also like how these tank treads are black. But that is, now we're going to compare a boombox to Perceptor. So you got a boombox and a microscope. So he's a Voyager size. Got him in wrong. We'll just take him out real quick. So a Voyager size compared to Deluxe. And then you want to do a truck to a microscope. That's fine. There's Optimus. And here is Ultra Magnus. Ultra Magnus, a cursory evaluation. Decepticon deficiency or Decepticon capability indicates a deficiency, tactical deficiency on our part. Whew. In other words, they're outnumbered, so that is these two guys. And there's my new Legacy Skids. Alright, and that is Perceptor. So, he's a pretty cool figure. I like the colors, more G1 accurate. But does he differ from the Titan's Return? Yes. Titan's Return does got a few more gimmicks, especially with the head. But I mean, There's so many different ways. This whole thing pops up. This one doesn't have it. These arms are pretty tight. I mean, there's so many ways you can do a microscope. It's like the Optimus Prime. So many different ways you can do it. Now we're going to do the tank mode. So what you do is basically you want to fold these down and then rotate these the other way. Now what you do is you have this little slot tab right there will go into up here. It's not exactly circle, but they will, you just got to get the right angle. And that side's in. Oops, thought he was in. There, that side's in. And then again, there's that little tab. And there's the top slot. It's not exactly a circle. You can see that. And you just got to angle them just a little till you get the right angle. And there is Perceptor's tank mode. And you know what? It's a mode he never used in the comic or the cartoon or the comics, but that's a little tank mode. And here is the Titans Return Perceptor. And notice how, like I said, he had the little black tank treads, and he had this little extras came out, which was pretty neat. And now you have the two tank modes. So there is the tank mode. You got the little treads there. He's locked in. Well, supposed to be locked in right here. I wonder if I'm getting the angle right. There you go. Both sides are locked in. You can move this up and down. So there is his tank mode. Now to get him back to robot mode, what you want to do is we'll unpeg these, swing the legs out, pop that in. We'll just bring the legs forward and down, and then we can just move these sideways, bring out the toes. I like, you got so much articulation right here. It's pretty cool. So you bring this whole joint in, bend it down. I'm surprised he doesn't have heel spurs. Normally these figures have heel spurs to help them stand. And then the arms, what you want to do is untab these, and then this, you rotate, you push this down like that, and then now you rotate the arms. Now you got, this is left over from the Blue Streak and the Dotson brothers. You put the arm in there, and let's just pop out the wrist, and you put the arm in there, pop out the wrist, and it snaps into place. Flip out the head. Like I said, they could have easily put a piece back there like they did in Blaster and Prime. But there is Perceptor back in his robot mode. And I do like him. You know, I have a few complaints, like the back right there is hollow. I'm sure a lot of people can complain. Yeah, it would have been nice to have some paint on the treads. But like I said, he never used it in the comic or the movie. So it's a neat little homage to the original toy that went into the tank mode. And I guess that's about it. So make sure you like, share, subscribe. You can buy this figure at Big Bad Toy Store or Amazon. I have links below. Subscribe, turn on notifications, check out my channel. Now we're transitioning from War for Cybertron to the Legacy. As you saw, I got Bulkhead and Skids to start. And all that good stuff. I think my next review is going to be Studio Series Brawn from Bumblebee movie. Just turn on notifications. And as always, Perceptor out.